our light weights for our warm up. Feet hip width apart. Roll your shoulders up, back and down. Toes slightly turned out and that chest is lifted. We're going to hinge in our hips, bring the weight down to the knees and then come back up again. So we're really sticking our bum out towards the wall behind us. Good. And coming back up again. The arms are just hanging. Weights come all the way down the knees and stop and then all the way back up again. Let's do 2 more like that. It's just coming down to the knees and back up. And again, down to the knees and back up. Let's do a dead row now. So come down to the knees again, keeping that neck and back straight. Pull those elbows out to the side and then come back down again. Good. So elbows out to the side and back down again. So staying in that position. We're just going to do 5 more of those, nice and slowly, just waking up the upper back, the backs of the shoulders as well, helping here. Keep your wrists neutral, keep your neck in line with your spine, and the core and the glutes are supporting you. 2 more. Triceps helping here as well. Last one. Good. Stand up, roll those shoulders up, back and down. Upright row, so bringing the weights up the center of the body just to the chest and back down again. Nice and slowly, up and down, keeping the weights close to the body. So resist those weights down. Good. Lifting and lowering. That's it. Lifting and lowering. Let's do 2 more like that. And then we're going to do a combination move of a deadlift and an upright row. So a deadlift, which we've just done, hinging, standing, and then an upright row. Deadlift again. That's it. And an upright row. Lovely. I'll turn to the side so you can see. And lifting. Nice. Deadlift and lifting. 2 more like that. Make sure you're breathing, shoulders are relaxed, core is switched on, knees are soft. Good. Let's do a dead row again. This time we're going to pull the elbows back. So back to that set position, hinge and pull the elbows back towards the ribs. So allowing those arms to hang, keeping that body nice and straight. Really brush those elbows against the ribs. That's it. We're not looking for super high elbows. We're just looking to pull them back. Really pinch the shoulder blades together at the top. That's it. 2 more. And that's 2. Lovely. And then stand up. So rolling those shoulders up, back and down. We're going to get rid of 1 weight. Keep the other one. So just holding 1 weight in both hands. We're going to bring that weight out in front of us and just bring it back down again. Straight arms. This warms the fronts of the shoulders, but we're also having to use the core here. So bringing the weight up, bringing the weight down. Nice. This time, lift and stop. And then we're going to bring the weight overhead and back to the front. So starting to get into that overhead work here. Really important here that the core is switched on, so we're not overextending through the lower back. That lower back is supported, the body is not moving, we're just moving those arms. Good. Last one. Good. And then bring those arms down. Now hold those weights with the palms facing up. We're going to do an upright row. Do an upright row again, and then we're going to flip those elbows underneath and push that weight overhead. Bring the weights down, elbows come up again. Good. Lift, flip, push overhead. I just hit myself in the face, careful of that. Elbows up and back down again. Good. So stop there. That is a clean and press. We're going to work on that as we go. Let's come down to the floor now and bring the heaviest weight you've got in between your hips for our glute bridges. So I've got a 5 kilogram for this one, nice and big, firmly between the hips. That's good. Well done, Moira.
Still just adjusting, sorry.
No, that's fine, no problem at all. Get yourself comfy on the floor. So feet flat on the floor, knees bent, knees hip width apart. Tuck your chin and slowly bring those weights up to the sky. Slowly bring them back down again. And now we're just checking for form here. We're looking up at the ceiling. We're moving evenly. You can probably feel that weight. You can probably feel one side of your body trying to work harder than the other one. So moving smoothly, moving evenly, just slowly bringing those weights up and bringing them back down again with your hips, and you're holding on to them safely. Good. Squeezing those glutes. Good. Up and down. One more, nice and slowly. And we're going to change the tempo. So we're going to go up fast. Hold it there. And then come down slowly. Good. And again, lift, hold, and come down slowly. Good. Lift and hold, and down slowly. We're going to do 16 more of those. Lots of work needed in the glutes. That's one. And again, lovely. These are our powerhouses. This is what supports us. Good. Keep going at that pace. Lovely. Lift and lower. Nice. Really pushing those weights up and then resisting them as you come down. Good. We're at 6 and coming down. Beautiful. Lift and coming back down again. Good. Lift and come down. Good job, ladies. Keep going. Nice. Really hold it at the top and then resist it down. 5 more. And coming down. Lift and lower. Good. 3 more. That's 2. And that's 1. Well done. We're going to go 2 and 2 now. So up for 2 and down for 2. Very lower body focus today. Working on those glutes. If they're not burning yet, then maybe you need to get a few heavier weights. Good. And down. Up for 2 and down for 2. Right, come up to the top. And I want you to just go halfway down and then back up again. Halfway down and up. Good. Halfway down and up. And 4 more like that. 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Bring your hips down. Now take a hold of the weights, the heaviest weight you've got, in both hands. Lift that weight overhead. Tricep extension. So squeezing the elbows in, bring that weight down to the forehead and then back up again. Good. So squeeze the elbows in. That's it. That upper arm stays pointing up to the sky. So the elbows pointing up to the sky, and the elbows stay the same distance away from each other. So you're squeezing them in to keep that discipline, working in those triceps now. Good. Nice efficient workout here. Good. 2 more. Nice and slow down to the forehead and back up again. Last 1. Good. Then bring the weight down to the belly. So keeping those elbows tight, we're going to push our hips and the weight up at the same time. So push the weight up and the hips up. And then bring the weight down and the hips down. Keep those elbows tight. So we're now doing tricep presses with the glute bridge. Good. Lifting up to the sky and coming back down again. Nice one. Lifting and coming down. 2 more like that. Lift, come down. 1 more. Lift, come down. We're going to lift again. This time we're going to stay there. So keep the hips up. Tricep extension. Keeping the hips high. tricep extension. Tricep comes down to the forehead. So keeping those elbows tight. That's it. Lovely. Really squeezing those glutes up to the sky. We're finishing those glutes off here. Nice. 4 more tricep extensions. Make sure you're breathing, moving nice and smoothly. Lovely. 1 more. Well done. Bring the weights down to the belly. Bring the hips down. Grab the backs of your thighs. Roll up. Roll up before you get rid of the weight. Okay, that was in the safe handling of weights, Pat. So hold on to the weight first. Now we're going to go 2 medium weights because we're going to work our chest. So come back down onto the floor with your arms up above your head. Still got your knees bent with your feet flat on the floor. Chest fly. So opening those arms out as wide as you can with control and then bringing them back up again. Now you've got a soft lock in your elbows. So they're not locked out. There's just a soft bend, but the arms move as one. Good. And you're aiming those weights to meet at the top. Good. Pull your belly down towards the floor so that the core is helping. Opening out for 2 and closing for 2. Good. 1 more like that, and then we're going to change the tempo. So same exercise, just a different tempo. Open those arms for 1 and then bring them up slowly for 3. So open and slowly squeeze them up. But when you squeeze them up, think about the core. Open, squeeze the core down towards the floor and lift those weights. It'll make it infinitely easier. Open and squeeze, and that's exactly the same for life. Open and squeeze. Having a strong core will make life easier. Open and squeeze. 1 more. Open and squeeze. Lovely. So keep those weights overhead. Now we have an option to make it a little bit harder. Bring the feet up off the floor. Knees at 90 degrees. Keep the shins parallel to the ground. Lovely. And we're just going to do a 2-2 chest fly. So opening for 2 and closing for 2. Now you might find that you're starting to wobble around a little bit and you have to actually use the core to stabilize. You've got no choice because those feet aren't grounded anymore. So really pull that lower back down towards the floor. Good. And we're loading that chest. These are our pushing muscles. And because we're using those slightly heavier weights, we can also use the slightly heavier weights when we do the next exercise, which is the upper back. Good. 1 more just like that, and then we're going to change the tempo. So opening for 2, closing for 2. Nice. Now open for 1 and stop. Then squeeze the weights up. And again. Open for 1. Stop. Squeeze up. Good. 6 more. Open and stop. Squeeze. And again, open and stop. And squeeze. Good. Open and stop. Keep that lower back absolutely in contact with the floor. Keep the core engaged. Yes. And squeeze. 2 more. Open and stop. And squeeze. Last 1. Well done. Bring those weights down to the belly and roll yourself up. Then get rid of the weights after you've rolled up. Good. Come up to standing up. And we're going to use those same weights, those 2 slightly heavier weights, or if you want to go a little bit heavier, you can, because we're going to work our upper back as promised. So starting in our set position, feet hip width apart. Soft bend in the knees, core braced, shoulders up, back and down, going into that dead row. So down to the knees and pulling those elbows out, bringing them back to the knees and standing up. 4 moves here. Hinging, pulling, lowering and standing. Now, if this feels like it's not doing anything, then you could probably go heavier. because these are quite big muscles that we're using. Hinging, pulling, lowering. Absolutely fine, Moira. Do what's right for you. You're still rehabbing from that injury. It's all good. Lower and stand. So hinging down to the knees, stopping there, pulling those elbows out, lowering and standing. Good. 2 more like that. Hinging, pulling, lowering and standing. Good. Lovely. Okay, now we're going to go tight with the elbows. So hinging and pull those elbows back, lowering and standing. So just like when we were on the floor, we were working the pushing muscles. Now we're working out pulling muscles, pulling, lowering and standing. Good. And it's all very well to be able to pull, but we need to be able to resist on the way down. So let's change the tempo. Come up for 1 and then resist down and stand up. Good. Pull, and then lower and stand up. 2 more like that. Pull, lower and stand, and again. Pull, lower and stand. Lovely. Well done. Roll those shoulders up, back and down. We're going to do our upright row. So lifting and lowering, right? We're also going to do 1 and 3 here. So come up to the center of the chest and then lower those weights with control. So lift and stop and lower with control. Good. Lift and stop, lower. Nice. This also works the upper back, but you want to make sure that that core is supporting you. Lifting and lowering. Really feel your shoulder blades here, all those muscles that are attached to the shoulder blades working. Good. Lifting and lowering. Nice. Lifting and lowering. And 1 more time. Good. Now we're going to change the weights. We're going to go to the lightest weights that you have because we're going to work our shoulders. So I'm going to progress it a little bit. I'm going to go for the 2 kilograms, which is slightly heavier than the ones that I normally use. And you're just holding on to those weights in your set position. We're going to start just by bringing those hands up and then bringing them out. Keep the arms straight and down. So lifting up to shoulder height, keeping them at shoulder height as you open, closing them back to the front and lowering. That's it. Lifting, opening. So I can feel I've overcooked it with these weights. I'm going to go back to the lighter ones. No shame in that. Roll those shoulders up, back and down. Lift, open. And even if those weights, the really light ones, are too much, sometimes this movement can also be quite challenging. So if you need to take the weight off at some point in time so that you can carry on moving, that's fine. Good. Nice. 1 more, but this time we're going to stop with our arms wide. Lovely. So stopping here and then bending those elbows. Now the elbows come up to shoulder height, right? They're at 90 degrees. We're going to push them overhead and come back down to that 90-degree angle. Good. So again, we're working overhead here. So you want to make sure you're not overextending through the back. No, you can't. That's as high as it goes. Those are my... Yeah, so the weights just come up overhead and back down again. Those are my limitations as far as the room is concerned. You're not going to be able to see my hands. Good. No, the elbows come down. Can you see my elbows?
Yes.
Yes? And then they go back up again. Come over and have a look, Moira, so you know what you're doing rather than over there. So up and then down.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Good. No problem. Lifting and lowering. That's it. Lifting and lowering. Good. Now, as with any other overhead work, you want to make sure that you're not overextending through the back, so make sure that core is switched on. Stop here and then bring those arms down to shoulder height. We're now in a rotator raise. So lifting and lowering, good. Coming up and down. Lots of work in the shoulders today, which is really good. We haven't done a lot of shoulders. Absolutely fine, as I said, if you need to actually let go of the weights. Good. And just do the movement. One more. Now this is our starting point. We're going to go out to long arms, bring them back again, working our way down. Arms out, bring them back down. Good. Two more. And then we're going to stop with those arms at 90 degrees and come into our side raise. That's it. Opening out and lowering down. That's it. Good. We come up so that the arms are parallel to the ground, keeping that 90-degree angle. Good. In the elbows. Well done. And then stop. Lovely. So we're going to go slightly heavier because we're going to work our biceps now. We've worked the triceps, worked the chest, we've worked the glutes and the shoulders. Done a little bit of core there with the chest as well. Rolling those shoulders up, back and down. Feet hip width apart. Simple bicep curl. Arms come up and then back down again. So it's just the forearm that works here. Elbows stay glued to the side of the body. And open your feet out a little, Moira, so that you've got that strong set position. That's it. With the toes slightly turned out. Knees are soft. Glutes are engaged. Upper body, keep that chest nice and high. Lifting and lowering. Lovely. Come up halfway and then go back down again. So we're just going to work in that bottom range, halfway and down, because we're moving in less space. We can go a little faster. So just up to center and down. Two more like that. And then we're going to go in the upper half. So that's two. This time we're going to come all the way up and go halfway down. All the way up. We don't curl the plates here. They just stay with the hands facing up. Good. Now you'll start to feel this. Keep those wrists neutral. That's really important here. And keep that body completely still. Body supported by the core and the lower back. Good. Now come down to halfway and hold it there. Keeping the wrists neutral and the elbows glued to the side of the body. We're just going to do little pulses, 16 of them. Nice and slowly as well. We're not looking for fast pulses. That's it. We've really worked those biceps and now we're just loading them in that middle range. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Let's get rid of those weights and come down to the floor where we're going to work our core and then we'll do our cool down. So coming down onto your back, we're going to continue working on our boat pose. So knees are bent, feet are up, head is down on the floor and hands are up above our heads. And your challenge here is to come up and stop. So use some momentum with those arms. Come on up onto your bum and stop. Holding it there. That's it. Roll down slowly. Roll back down again. Good. Use a lot of momentum here. The stopping is where the core works. So lift and stop. Good. And then slowly rolling down. Good job, Moira. Good job, Pat. Keep going. Lift and stop. Now, it's okay if you've got a little wiggle going on there when you stop. That's where the strength comes in. Roll down slowly. Come up and stop again. That's it. Well done. Now we're going to stop here. We're going to work in this position. Extend the legs and reach those arms out. Roll down slowly. Hug the knees into your chest. And come up again. So set yourself up and come up and stop. Lift the chest high, Pat. That's it. Good, Moira. Lovely. Coming down again. And again. 2 more. Coming up and stopping. Beautiful. Yes. And down. Last one. Coming up and stopping. And lowering with control. Well done. Was that a collapse, Pat? Have you collapsed on the floor? I love it. I love it. Well done. Reach your hands overhead. Reach your feet away from you. We're in cool down mode. The hard work is done. Really well done. So reach your toes and your fingers away from each other. And then hug your knees into your chest and just have a little roll on that lower back. Good. Then bring your right foot down on the floor and cross the left ankle over the knee. Push that left knee away. So just stretching the glutes. Oh, we can add a hamstring stretch, absolutely. Moira, you can stick that right leg up to the sky. That's it. 2 for the price of 1. Hamstrings on one side, glutes on the other. And just hold that stretch there. And then swapping over to the other side. So bring the right foot down, left foot down, right ankle goes over left knee. Now just if you look at me, I'm not going to be doing this because that side doesn't like to do it, but I'll talk you through it. So right hand pushes the right knee away. And then you take a hold of the back of that left leg and extend it into a hamstring stretch. Good. Bring the feet down. We're just going to do a counter pose here. We're just going to do a glute bridge with no weight. So just bring those hips up to the sky just to stretch out that lower back. And then bring the hips down and roll yourselves up. Come to sitting, facing me with your legs wide. Nice. Bring your hands up above your head. And then just bring them out to the side and bring them behind you. Clasp them, open out through the chest. We did work the chest quite a lot. And then unclasp those hands and just roll through your back. So stretch through that upper back, the lower back. Maybe have a little wiggle here as well. Reaching out of one shoulder and then the other. Then come back to sitting. Bring your right arm across your body and that left arm hooks just above the elbow. So now we're stretching the shoulders. Breathing here, catching your breath. Open those arms out and go to the other side. Ah, nice stretch in the shoulders. And then the triceps. So bring that right arm up overhead. Take a hold of the elbow. And if you want to come into a side bend, it gives the back a nice stretch as well. So push your head against your arms there, Pat. Try not to be rolling forwards. That's it. Open out again. And then take a hold of the left elbow and stretch to the side. Well done. Let's come to standing up. Oh, shake everything out. And we're done.